The debt ceiling, also known as the debt limit, is a statutory limit placed on the amount of money that the federal government can borrow. It is important because it inhibits the government from wasteful spending and from pushing the country too deeply into debt. Congress must decide how much the debt ceiling should be set at, and will generally vote to increase or decrease the limit at their discretion. When the government needs to borrow more money than the debt ceiling allows, Congress must pass legislation to raise the ceiling. Currently, the debt ceiling stands at $19.84 trillion, and is expected to be raised sometime over the next year or two. When the debt ceiling is raised, it allows the government to issue more debt and borrow more money to fund programs and projects. Allowing the government to exceed the debt limit has become increasingly controversial in recent years. Many argue that it allows for irresponsible spending and fails to discourage congressional overspending. Others, however, view it as an essential tool in ensuring the fiscal solvency of the government as it works to fund necessary programs and services. In order to avoid breaching the debt ceiling limit, some economists have proposed alternatives such as implementing a balanced budget amendment. This, however, has proven to be a controversial topic as well, as there is disagreement as to whether or not it could actually be implemented. Furthermore, some argue that the debt ceiling should be eliminated entirely, thus unshackling the government to borrow as much money as necessary. While implementing such a policy could potentially alleviate many economic issues, it also carries with it many risks and potential consequences. As a result, the debt ceiling has become a hotly contested and partisan issue, with no clear consensus on the correct path forward. For now, Congress will continue to be responsible for setting the debt limit and determining the country's level of economic responsibility. As such, it is important that all involved come to an agreement on the best path forward, for the sake of economic stability. The national debt is currently hovering around $20 trillion mark, and is projected to keep growing. This means that it is more important than ever for Congress to stay vigilant when it comes to setting the debt ceiling. Allowing for too much debt could lead to economic collapse, while limiting it too much could inhibit the government's ability to fund important programs. Ultimately, it is up to Congress to craft a sensible debt ceiling policy that takes into account both economic and political concerns. The current situation has only complicated the process, as months rarely pass without partisan bickering. This serves to delay the implementation of any debt ceiling policy, potentially leading to further debt accumulation. This has financial planners warning of further economic stagnation and a continued national debt problem. To ensure that the debt limit is not being abused, Congress must be diligent in its oversight and hold the executive branch accountable. Doing so is critical in maintaining both economic and political stability, so these rules should not be taken lightly.